But what we have a startup store in Braamfontein on 41 Juta Street. The name is always hard for me to pronounce. I'm Zulu, so I don't know if it's Sutu, but it's Timolohong Precinct. Right? I hope I pronounced it correctly. So we have a center there. Okay. We also have we had an enterprise development center in Newtown, which is no longer there. Okay, thank you for that. And but we have another center where it's a co-location in Germiston, for instance, here in Joburg. But we have other centers across the country. And what these centers are for, it is for anyone. Whether you are a business owner, you're not a business owner, whether you have offices, you don't have offices, these platforms are for you to enter them and just say, I need to work. You don't need to pay for them. They are for free. Okay? So that's a basic level, co-working space. But over and above that, you get free Wi-Fi. In some of the places, you get free coffee, free water. Okay? So these are things that we are saying, we need to produce a conducive environment for someone to work on their idea. And some entrepreneurs may need, so I met someone in one of the expos who said, no, you know, I need money to have working space. And I asked, okay, that's fine. We can help you with that, but what do you want to use the work? No, to meet clients, okay? When you meet the clients in that working space, it's going to allow you to get more money. Does it have anything to do with you getting more money? I said, no. But you understand that if you have working space, you need to pay for it. Yes. Then it made sense. So, but we said, this is one of the things that we need to do as a bank. So you can access these places free of charge, and I'll share some of the addresses for you. So if you want to meet a client, or potential client, and you want presentation facilities, you can get that for free. And free coffee and free Wi-Fi. So that's a basic element. And also, we've structured our services or our offerings based on which stage the SMME is at. Because you get guys, as I say, these are the guys that are still working on their ideas. So over and above that access to finance, we give you access to one of our colleagues that we work with here using My SME tools that helps you to put together a business plan. It asks you a couple of questions, and then in the background it builds a business plan for you. And you can actually edit it at a later stage so that it suits whatever needs that you want to use it for. Also, your financial projections, you can get access for it, and we give you all of this free of charge. But we also have sessions that we run in these centers where you get training on how do you do market analysis, how do you do a feasibility study, you know, how do you manage your finances and so forth. But if you go through our enterprise and supply chain development program, you get more than just access to things like this or training sessions. You get a dedicated person who will incubate you and your business, okay? And that you get over and above the finance that the bank gives you. And that incubation process, you get it free of charge. So this is something that we are saying as a bank, that we must not just give you the money, but we must hold your hand to allow you and to help you to grow your business. Okay. So this is just some of the things that we do. So this is business development support, which is the non-financial support that we give as a bank. And we also have the financial support. So we also have what we call alternative funding, to your question earlier. What is alternative funding? And when we spoke earlier, I mentioned the fact that we structure our products based on what the customer's needs are. Okay? So I've already spoken to some of the things, but this is a definition that I've gotten for myself, and hopefully it makes sense to you as well. To say the funds that we have in the bank, these alternative funds, the main purpose of it is to support SMMEs with viable businesses, okay? But who require funding but do not have access to funding, mainly because of no security at all, or if you may have security, the security is insufficient. And it is also for people who have an adverse credit record, which we're talking about right now. But what we must try to do is, we assess the fact that, are you in that adverse situation in terms of your credit profile based on recklessness, or was it circumstantial? Okay. And one of the questions that I have to answer today is, what are banks looking for finance? And you find that most people, there's one of the funds that we've had since 2008, and I always tell people in the bank when I'm approaching them to change things, to say, these things that you have in the bank, they were there whilst I was still in school. And now I'm here as a product manager, we're still applying the same principles as back in the day. So the economy is changing, so we must also change. But what you'd find that what we did back in the day, we trusted the SMME and said, okay, you need money, you have a business idea, whatever the case may be, here is the money, go and do what you want. So we relaxed our lending criteria so that we could have been accommodating to the SMME. And up until today, we're still sitting with loans that we paid back in the day to customers who said, no, here's my business, this is what I want to do. But when we paid the money into the SMME's account, instead of going to do what you said you're going to do, they went and did something else. And as a result, they couldn't pay the bank, and as a result, they had an adverse credit record. So these are some of the things that we're saying, based on the learnings that we've had previously. We then say, this is how we must structure our product, and these are the things that we're saying we can be lenient on. But you also, as an SMME, you have to prove that you are serious about your business. Okay? So I'm trying to answer both the questions at the same time, because the questions were, what do banks look for, and what are the offerings that the bank has? So I've spoken about enterprise development support in terms of business support, the non-financial side of things, and I'm talking about now alternative funding. But maybe before I go to the details of alternative funding, I'll speak briefly about enterprise and supply chain development. This is where we as a bank approach different government institutions, we approach different private corporates and say, look, if you are giving an opportunity to a black SMME, specifically 51% black owned and above, and you give them a contract and they require working capital, send them to Absa. So we are actively approaching government and private organizations to say, if they support black businesses and those businesses need finance, they must come to Absa. That is enterprise and supply chain development at a high level. But what we do through that, so this is where we have the individual incubation, over and above all the other things that we offer. But we also have post-lending management in place. So there's a strategy where we just don't only give you the money again, but we engage the corporates and we engage the SMME. And we ask the SMME in the continuous meetings that we have to say, SMME, is the corporate paying you? And we also ask the corporates, is the SMME delivering? In that way, we can help to ensure that we use our bargaining power as a bank to ensure that the corporates plays their role in this agreement, and also to try and help you to make sure that if you are experiencing any symptoms of distress, we can assist you before you get into a position that maybe you default on your payments. So that is our ESD structure. So that falls under the options that we have as a bank. And under alternative funds, so there is the criteria that we are talking about. And the products that generally SMMEs are looking for, it's an overdraft account. So maybe you need to, there's an order that you've received and you need to deliver on that order, or maybe you have an existing business, or you're starting a business and you need some sort of a term loan. We offer that, and commercial asset finance. So this is maybe you need to buy a truck, you need to buy a van, or you need to buy maybe a printing machine, whatever the case may be. So you can qualify for that through alternative funds. Our minimum amount is 50,000, but we've paid out loans less than that, okay? And maximum amount is around 5 million rand. But we've paid out loans much higher than that, okay? You would remember, maybe you'd seen an ad back in 2016. There was a gentleman who was a taxi owner, and he found out about an opportunity for a bus, school bus transporting contract. He identified a number of other taxi owners, and they said, let's come together and get buses so that we can get this contract, okay? They told us that they went to other banks and they couldn't get a contract, but they came to us And they needed about 25 buses, and each bus cost just below R1 million. And we were